Now live, this is NBC5, the Texas News Channel.
A tip about a known sex offender leads officers to a secluded Haltom City pasture to look for a missing 6-year-old girl. Good evening. New tonight, investigators may be closing in on a suspect.
The FBI is questioning a man tonight in Opal's disappearance, but investigators are being unusually tight-lipped about what is going on. NBC5's Scott Gordon joins us live from the police department with the newest developments tonight. Scott?
Well, Jane, police are indeed playing this one very close to the vest, but Opal Jennings' family says tonight police told them they have just arrested a man on charges unrelated to Opal's abduction. Whether he is also a suspect in Opal's abduction is not clear right now, but the FBI has recovered a stolen car that could be key evidence.
She, called up there, going, "Did you take my car?" And I said, "No, I didn't take it." And she's like, "Somebody stole the car."
It was about 2 weeks ago. Debbie Mangrum and Bill Bordeaux of Fort Worth had their brown Buick Regal snatched from their own driveway. It had chrome wheels and a rusty top, just like the car someone used 2 days later to kidnap 6-year-old Opal Jennings in Saginaw.
This is wild. I mean, I just can't believe.
The car, too.
FBI agents found the couple's car in a wooded area near where a habitual sex offender lived in a shed. Police had been trying to question the man, along with many others convicted of sex crimes in the area. On the property, somebody dug a small hole in the ground. Agents seemed to examine it closely. Neighbors who did not want to talk on camera say the man who lived on the property had scraggly long hair he sometimes wore in a ponytail, just like the suspect described in Opal's abduction.
It's kind of a shock.
Yeah.
I don't care nothing about the car as long as I find that little girl,
FBI agents scoured these woods for the better part of the day. They even brought in forensic experts. But what they may have found, other than the stolen car, they're not saying. This all appears to be the biggest break yet in the search for Opal Jennings. But agents left tight-lipped about what it all means. Saginaw police spokesman Carl Johnson visited Opal's grandparents' home and had this carefully worded statement on his way out.
This time we have not found Opal Jennings. We are continuing to search for her. We have an ongoing investigation with the objective of that investigation of finding Opal and getting her back home to her family. There's no other information to release at this time.
And he wouldn't answer any questions about the man who lived on that property, the man who apparently is under arrest tonight, apparently for some kind of parole violation. But again, police are confirming none of that. Opal Jennings' family is having a hard time dealing with this flurry of developments. Let's go across town now to the family's home in NBC5's Deborah Ferguson. Deborah, what's going on there?
Scott, the searches, the questioning of potential suspects, each new development keeps Opal's family on an emotional roller coaster. An aunt describes it as a nightmare that won't end. The strain of a long day was apparent as Opal's grandmother spoke to reporters about the latest information.
They made the arrest on an unrelated warrant. As far as they know and as far as we know, Opal's out there. And you know what I've said all the time, she's still alive. Somebody still got her.
Behind Audrey Sanderford, the candlelight shrine for Opal burned. The flames symbolizing the family's continuing faith that the 6-year-old will return home.
This is the latest information with one of her newer pictures on it. So,
a printing company made up new flyers with more information about the crime, hoping that will give police a break in the case. For Opal's family, each day the child is gone is like a bad dream.
You know you're going to have the dream, and it's going to be awful.
We don't even want to think, knowing our portion of it. We don't want to think the worst. We're keeping it. She's alive. We want her back alive.
That positive thought is kept alive with the support of family. Opal has numerous cousins, aunts, uncles, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, and a great-great-grandmother. Opal's mother, Leola, says they and the thought of her daughter help her get through the very long days.
I just love her. I want her home. The whole family wants to see her home, so we can take care of her.
Family members say they are very satisfied with the job that federal agents and police officers are doing to try and find Opal. They feel that if there is any development that is important to this case, any development that actually leads officers to Opal, the family will be notified about it immediately. Reporting live, Deborah Ferguson, NBC5, Saginaw.
All right, thank you very much, Deborah. Richland Hills police are tonight looking for 2 men who allegedly tried to kidnap several children this afternoon. Officers say 2 men in a dark blue pickup pulled up in a front yard and offered a group of children candy if they would go with them. We have a description of the suspect now. He's a white male, brown hair, in his mid to late 20s, wearing a ball cap with a skull design and "No Fear" written below. The suspect also has a gold tooth. The children ran away unhurt and told their babysitter. The latest now on a story you saw first on NBC5 at 5. The Fort Worth School District is tonight investigating allegations that several district employees made an illicit videotape. We're told by an outside source that 4 workers allegedly shot the tape in a middle school cafeteria. District administrators won't say exactly what's on the tape or at what school the tape was made. They do characterize the tape as improper. They say no students are on the tape.
Whenever we get information that inappropriate and untoward behavior has taken place at the school, we immediately remove the people from the school, put them on paid leave, and begin to investigate.
Toko won't say what job the alleged culprits do at the school. The investigation is a couple of weeks old now.
Tonight, a warning to other women from a victim who knows what Rohypnol can do. Someone slipped her the date rape drug and then dumped her in a ditch after attacking her. It's a story you saw first on 5, and tonight she tells her harrowing story to NBC5's Calvin Hughes.
Hat was still on, and he was...
She's going public with her story for the first time.
That's a terrible thing to do to somebody and get enjoyment out of it.
It began late Friday afternoon at Woody's, a popular bar in Parker County. What happened next when she met these 2 men forever changed her life.
Waitress brought the beer over, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and I took my purse and left my beer. And when I came back, took a couple drinks of the beer. I don't even remember leaving Woody's.
But she does remember ending up in a restroom inside a dirty house with whom she thought were her friends.
I came out, and the next thing I remember is that his shirt and his hat was still on, and he was restraining me. My arms were being held down. I remember somebody laughing. They put something in my drink.
Investigators believe it was this, Rohypnol, an illegal date rape drug. She has many of its symptoms.
I'm having panic attacks, anxiety attacks.
One of the best ways to reduce your risk of becoming a date rape victim.
You have to check out your sources even when you're with friends.
The victim has her own advice.
Get in the car with just anybody. I mean, even if you know them, if you don't know them, don't go anywhere with them by yourself.
Calvin Hughes, NBC5, Parker County.
Tonight, DISD trustees are remaining tight-lipped about their search for a new superintendent, but one of the surprise candidates is speaking out tonight. Here's NBC5's Brendan Higgins.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, great.
He's a modest guy.
I normally don't make this flashy an entrance.
But tonight at a Dallas Press Club reception, there's a definite buzz around County Judge Lee Jackson.
There, one more time, looking right here. Good.
Soon after, Governor Bush asked the Dallas business community to get more involved in the DISD, the no-nonsense county judge emerged as a superintendent candidate.
If they asked me to be a part of that and I thought I could do it and help turn around some of the business aspects of the district, it'd be very, very gratifying to feel like what you did had an impact on kids' lives over the course of several years.
That's the kind of initiative and spirit that he needs to be showing.
The school board is interested.
I think everyone is open right now.
Lee Jackson.
But community groups like the NAACP and LULAC say they want an educator at the helm, someone like San Jose Superintendent Joe Cotto. Jackson is unfazed, and he says his interest is growing.
The more pessimistic people are about the future for a school system like the Dallas Public Schools, the more interested it's made me in being a part of it.
So far, the DISD isn't knocking his door down.
I have not heard from them.
But that could change soon. Trustees say they want a new superintendent next week. Brendan Higgins, NBC5, Dallas.
Still to come tonight, Yugoslavian President Slobodan Milosevic calls a temporary ceasefire in the fighting in Kosovo.
But no words can ease the suffering of refugees trapped in a no-man's land.
And a warning tonight about teen smoking that proves it's worse if you start young.
Plus, a winning essay could land you in the hospital, but it might be a good thing.
Live from NBC5, the Texas News Channel, Shane McGarry, Mike Snyder, Chief Meteorologist David Finfrost, and sports with Brian Jensen. This is NBC5.
The air attack is lighting up the night sky in Belgrade more than ever tonight. NATO continues to pound Serbian targets, even though Yugoslavian President Slobodan Milosevic called off his troops in observance of the Orthodox Easter holiday. NATO commanders say there is no reason to believe that Milosevic can be trusted to stop the killing.
Given his track record, I think one is right to be suspicious of anything that he puts on the table.
No words can console this woman looking through the bombing debris that killed and then buried her brother and his wife. For many elderly there tonight, the attacks brought back memories of Hitler's bombing of Belgrade 50 years ago today. And at the Kosovo border, more chaos tonight as tens of thousands of refugees crowd the border into Macedonia, where camp conditions, as you can see there, are becoming more unlivable every day.
About 50 gallons of gas an hour is still leaking tonight from a pipeline in Parker County, forcing 10 families out of their homes. People had to evacuate Monday when a subcontractor hit an 18-inch gasoline pipeline that runs from Houston to Oklahoma. Leaking fuel is being hauled off as quickly as possible, but authorities say the health hazard is sufficient to keep residents away. A repair part is scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Until then, residents are only allowed to go home to feed animals or pick up personal items. Tonight, the Fort Worth City Council is working to redefine its death benefits policy. That comes less than 2 months after firefighters Brian Collins and Philip Dean were killed in this church fire while working for another department. Council members listened to recommendations clarifying the city's position. The families of those fallen firefighters are tonight considering legal action stemming from the Fort Worth Retirement Board's decision denying them full benefits.
Well, it's a mild night out there, but maybe the clouds or something is blowing in on that breeze out there. David shows us if rain is in the forecast coming.
Also in Health Watch, how can a hormone help improve memory? We'll have details coming up.
And it's an unusual offer tonight. One doctor, what he will do for free, but what he wants in exchange. NBC 5 continues right after these messages. A new discovery in Health Watch tonight, the drug used to help restore a woman's chemical balance after menopause may tonight help restore her memory, too. Researchers at Yale University say women using an estrogen pill showed more brain activity than those not using the drug.
We found that when women were on the estrogen, their brain activation patterns seem to resemble those that are often seen in younger individuals.
But researchers say tonight that their clinical study does not yet prove that estrogen improves memory. You can read the study for yourself in tomorrow's Journal of the American Medical Association. A California cosmetic surgeon is tonight offering to do a free facelift to the winner of an essay contest. Dr. Michael Elam practices his trade in the capital of nips and tucks. That's out in California. And to win his cosmetic surgery free, you must first win his essay contest and then agree to one condition, that your operation will be broadcast live over the internet. And so far, 2 people have done it.
The response that we've gotten so far from people coming in for consultations was that, oh, you know, I saw you online.
Well, while the patients seem to be happy, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons is not. It says the competition is unprofessional.
The younger you are when you smoke cigarettes, the worse the damage. A new study out of the University of California tonight shows smoking in the teenage years increases the risk of lung cancer, even if the smoker quits. The study says when smokers start is much more important than how long they smoke or how much they smoke. Recent surveys show the number of teenage smokers is on the increase. Some very young children are getting a dose of reality, the reality of being a parent. These 6th graders have been parents for the past couple of weeks. All day they had to carry their lifelike babies with them and care for them. The students are part of a program designed to teach them about the consequences of having sex. Most of them had thought that parenting was pretty simple.
That it was kind of easy. And that it wouldn't be that hard. I could manage to take care of it on my own. And now? I don't want one till I'm 25.
Because we're too young, we're not old enough to take care of it. We don't have to support our job and then.
Those kids also had to learn how to budget. I think it was about $250 a day that they had to budget.
That should be a required course.
That's a good idea.
Good idea, I think.
You stayed up a few late nights with kids, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, but that's in the past. I don't want to think about doing that again until we're talking grandbabies.
On stone tablets.
Oh, that was mean.
We'll take grandchildren, but my daughter says don't rush us. Let's take a look at what has been a very nice day here in North Texas. A beautiful day, sunshine throughout the day, although some high clouds started showing up late in the evening, and those will continue to move in overnight. Temperatures across the area began at 51, reaching a high of 80 degrees. Well, that's a little above normal. Typical high is 74, but it's been warmer, 95 on this date back in 1960. And look at this, we were down close to freezing just 5 years ago. Looking at the current reading, it is 66, dew point at 44, humidity 45%, wind is dropped off to about 7 miles per hour out of the southeast. Pressure now 30.07 inches. Looking across the area earlier this afternoon, yes, it was warm everywhere. 80 was the official high at DFW, but we saw 82 at Mineral Wells and at Corsicana. Those were the warm spots. Right now, the temperatures come back down, mostly in the mid-60s to low 70s across the region. We started out clear, but sure enough, those high clouds began coming in, and we saw some of them moving in before sunset, much thicker off to the south. This is all high-level moisture. High clouds about 25 to 30,000 feet up. Here's the low-level moisture. We're looking at the dew points. And about 10 o'clock this morning, this shows dew points of 50 degrees or higher. All that moisture down towards the coast, and it tended to move off the coast, but then the front stalled and has begun backing up. And you can see during the late afternoon and evening, the dew points are creeping northward again. That means moisture is on the increase, and that's why we are expecting to see the clouds moving back in later tonight and particularly during the day tomorrow. So we will definitely see more clouds, and that begins to set us up for the chance of some rain. There's the old frontal boundary, which is moving northward, pulling the moisture up from the Gulf as it approaches. Earlier this afternoon, 80 here and in the 80s all along the Gulf Coast. But look at this, 70s reaching all the way up through Louisville and Cleveland, 75 degrees. It was 69 in Buffalo, a little cooler around the lakes, and back in the northwest, 35 degrees the high in Yellowstone National Park. One storm system is pulled off to the east. Right now it's restricted to a few showers up in the New England states, but while that one's moving out, the next one is coming onshore. You can see the low pressure area there in the upper level, still along the California coast. The surface low, though, is moving off to the east of Las Vegas right now, trailing a cold front down into the Pacific. This is going to be slow moving, but gradually it will be coming in our direction, supported by that upper level low. And as it slides on in, we'll see the moisture pulled up from the Pacific, so we will see the increasing clouds, the moisture return at the surface from the Gulf. And that means we may see a few thunderstorms in here Wednesday night into Thursday morning. But the main energy from this system will be up here to the north, and that's why we feel the heavier rains will bypass us again to the north and the east. Here's what we're looking for in the NBC5 forecast. Just partly cloudy overnight. We'll have a low of 59. The southeast winds will be increasing 15 to 25 miles per hour tomorrow. And along with that increasing wind comes increasing clouds. No rain tomorrow, but we may see some showers or thunderstorms in here Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. But once that front pulls through, we'll see rapidly clearing skies again, and it looks like clear sailing then on into the weekend. And that's good news all around.
And no complaints after today and tonight. Thanks, David. The Rangers are gunning for revenge tonight, hoping some hot bats and flaming fastballs will cool the talk that they're no good.
And while Ricky Williams won't play after being paid by the Rangers, he says tonight he will play for the right pay in the NFL draft. Brian Jensen with his story next here on NBC5. Well, it's like the difference of night and day.
Literally out of the ballpark. Brian's out there where the Rangers are up against the Tigers again tonight.
Well, it certainly didn't get the hype it should have, but opening night is just as big as opening day. In fact, considering what happened on the field tonight, maybe it's even bigger. Rangers unveil the division championship banner in the outfield before the first pitch, and it only takes one batter to know tonight was different. Same batter, Juan Encarnacion, instead of that first pitch home run, struck out. That offense that took time to get cranked in the opener sees the first three batters reach, and Rusty Greer knocked in a pair on the double. And that defense, well, it's not any better from the stands tonight, but it is on the field. Watch the play in the sixth by Lee Stevens. This will end the inning. Rangers add 4 runs in the seventh, and Aaron Seeley's going to get a win out of this one. It's 6-0 Texas in the ninth. The only other early game in the American League was in Minnesota, where the Twins' PR with the fans is so bad they opened the season with a gimmick, saying they'll never lose on Tuesday or fans in attendance get a free ticket to another game. Well, maybe they'll like what they see at least tonight. Toronto couldn't see anything when the ball was hit on the high pop-up, and they may have to figure out another way to give away tickets at the Metrodome. Minnesota winning 6-1. National League, the last opener of the season, is one large step for the Astros. That's Neil Armstrong with the first pitch. Astros hosting Chicago in the beginning of the end of the Astrodome, and they got a banner to beat. Astros start launching them in the fourth. They're down 2-1, and they're not down anymore. Carl Everett ties it. Next batter, Richard Hidalgo unties it. 3-2 Houston at that point. Houston wins it 4-2 finally. And some pretty good college baseball in Fort Worth. TCU and Texas Tech both now in the collegiate top 30. It's the Frogs with the early chance to score, but Jay LaFleur cut down on the double steal. TCU loses 2 runs at the plate in this one, while Tech gets the shot by Brandon Burns in the 7th, drives in 2, and the Red Raiders beat TCU 3-2. Well, a picture may be worth 1,000 words, but as far as the Stars are concerned, the picture taken today, they just want it to be worth 3 words. Stanley Cup champions. John Radigan with the story from Valley Range.
You don't often see these 3 on the ice, much less in their Sunday best.
Okay, are we all set?
Actually, Darian Hatcher and Tony Herkus wouldn't mind healing for a couple of more days before taking the team picture.
Right here at me, fabulous smiles, right up here we go.
And think how much better those smiles would be if the team hadn't lost 3 of its last 4 games.
Your focus is really play and move on, and we're more in the technical area, coaches. I mean, the players, really, the emotion is in their control now. We've worked hard all year to get it into the area where we think it's very competitive in here. We've got good competition for jobs, but we're in the technical area now. We're backed off. If they're going to compete for the right reasons now, or they're not.
And the players took Hitch's cue. Yesterday, they kicked everybody out of the locker room and shut the door. It was a players-only, closed-door meeting where there were no coaches, just a team talking about continuing to be the best in the NHL.
We've earned the right to be a good team. Let's not just play it out and wait for the playoffs to start. Let's finish strong, and I think our players want to do that.
This will be a picture-perfect season if they do, but forgive these guys if the picture process got old today.
Okay, now you need to hang on for a second.
A few things that we want to add to that picture in case we don't take another one, and I think there's a lot of focus on that right now, and a lot of excitement in this dressing room to get the season on and over with, and get into where it really counts.
There is no cup in this picture, but the guys will gladly assemble again with the Stanley Cup in front of them. John Radigan, NBC 5 at Valley Range.
What about the only kind of picture the Stars ever want to see of Brian Marchment is one of those profile shots with the numbers underneath? He is in the NHL's version of jail once again, this time the 1-game suspension for offensive comments on the ice. Ricky Williams hoping to make the noise on the practice field to counter that noise that surrounded him since winning the Heisman. You know, the talk about his weight and his lack of desire, that he's sliding in pre-draft predictions. So which Ricky Williams was this?
Everyone knows that, the real test is on the football field, and this is just, backup information. My big thing is to be number 1. And if not, that means wherever I go, it's fine.
Why is that so important to you? Really financial?
Financial, nothing to do with money. It's just, I think everyone wants to be number 1. If they don't, they shouldn't be playing sports.
Well, it's a shame that Ricky Williams won't be playing for the Rangers out here. He'd be having a pretty good time tonight. It's 6-0 in the 9th. They play again here tomorrow against the Tigers. Jay, Mike?
That's what they say. What a difference a day makes. Sure
More
was
like it.
Difference of the night here. Aviation buffs are flying high tonight.
That's because some vintage aircraft are getting together for a rare reunion. We'll take you to the airstrip when we come back.
Finally tonight, a flight of fancy in Denton today. Yeah, these are the silver birds that many aviation buffs say save the world. Some say the best fighters to ever fly. And 8 of the fully restored World War II P-51 Mustangs made a pit stop in Denton today on their way to Kissimmee, Florida.
It's very rare to see this many of them in one place.
What do you think of it?
Oh, they're fantastic airplanes. Anybody that's ever flown in their life wants to fly a Mustang.
Yeah, they carry names like Lady Joe, Spam Can, and the Aces of Spades. They are the labor of love of pilots like Fort Worth race car driver Johnny Rutherford, who used to fly the Spam Can, by the way. They are the dream of many a pilot. Count me in. I'd love to go up someday.
They are definitely styling, that's for sure.
They are. They're
They look
gorgeous.
good. Jay Leno and the Tonight Show up next tonight. Jane Krakowski is on Leno.
For all of us here at NBC 5, thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.